buddy?
Man,
You look
I do
good.
not run too often.
I know you
That
don't.
is not something I do often.
You looked angelic. Like a young Brad Pitt.
Like a young Brad Pitt, really?
Yeah.
You
Like
and
Fight
F-Dot,
Club.
you've been just complimenting me constantly. I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah, no, it's not even close to true. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to the desk. Got you joined by Adonis. You guys already kind of broke down for it a little bit at the beginning, but Trig Esports, you're telling me and telling everyone that they're kind of trending down right now.
They are trending down here, and this is going to be a big point for them. They need to 2-0, and I think they need to 2-0 clean. If they're pressured at all, it's going to be a pretty big sign of weakness. Now, Trig, they're good. They're amazing, actually.
Yeah.
You look at the spring split. They were almost undefeated outside of losing to Team Dignitas, I think, early on in the split when they were still kind of getting things together. And then they just dominated. And now they're 0-7.
Yeah, but across the way, Upcoming Stars hasn't exactly found any sort of victory at all, in any sense of the word victory.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they are pressured by a team who couldn't win a single game,
I'm up to speed with you
that's
now.
The downward, that's the downward swing.
It is going to be tough. But anyways, make sure you guys get your picks in here. We have very, very limited time, and then we'll be hopping into this one. Kevin, we both picked Trig, but looking at it, keys to success for Upcoming Stars.
It's going to be Sausage, get him fed, but he has to go against Zaylee, right? It's a hard matchup for him because that is one of Trig's stars players. Individually, he's amazing, and he really likes to play safe and farm. I mean, he only had 18 deaths in the spring split.
Are we going to see these weird kind of janky picks coming out of him? Like we saw the Freya last time with Achilles Spear, which just simply did not work at all.
I think they're going to go meta. I would suspect them to not do anything crazy coming out here for this game. There's no reason to try something that could maybe just fail horribly.
The usual late game hyper carry of Vamana and then stalemating the lane.
Pretty
and so
safe,
back.
I would advise for them.
Yeah? You think it's just going to be safe plays? Okay. All right. Well, we're getting ready to fire up into picks and bans here, guys. Kevin, if you're looking at Upcoming Stars, and there's one player outside of Sausage who can control the dictate of the pace of the game, who is it?
Qin.
Qin?
100%. No other player, I think. We saw it against in the relegation match against Elo Fishers. Game 5, he was just everywhere. He was constantly setting up. His Athena play is fantastic. He's a veteran player, and I think he brings a lot to the roster. If plays are going to be... That's the thing about solo lane, I forgot to mention, is that it's hard for them to make an impact early on. They're sitting on solo island, right? It really comes down to Qin keeping Upcoming Stars together through that early and mid game, so Sausage can come online and make the big plays.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, there's Kevin's expert analysis. We're getting ready to hop into picks and bans here, and we are underway. Trig Esports will be rocking the order side as Upcoming Stars will be having the counterplay option in the solo lane, giving Sausage every advantage possible, and Athena will be the first pick to be banned from Trig Esports.
Yes, and I think this is Qin's premier support, and that's a fantastic ban here. I'm likely to see not too many targeted bans, maybe a Helen Fenrir against Sausage here, but after that, I think it'll be pretty meta. And like we see, Serket, Sylvanas, all these really gods that are just top tier in each of their individual roles taken out first.
You also don't want Cuba Fred to have Serket or Bellona in this series. Cuba Fred, he's very, very dominant in the jungle, and he also seems to get better and better every single week. So very smart bans coming out of Upcoming Stars. And shockingly enough, Trig Esports will go ahead and grab Hercules' first pick. Now, that won't be going into the solo lane, though, ladies and gentlemen. That will be going to Trixtank.
6-0. Trixtank was undefeated with this in the spring split. 6 teams... Or 6 times teams let Trix get Hercules, and 6 times teams regretted giving Trixtank Hercules. You just can't. He is so dominant. And really, Hercules' main stake is that why he's not picked as support is because it's so hard to confirm his 2, right?
Yeah.
Trix hits it every time.
Yeah, naturally, the
Every
knock
time.
up. And that puts Hunters in a weird spot, especially. Now, Ra is going to get picked up as well as Ymir. Ymir in Europe, very, very commonly played. Could see him go into the jungle role, but most likely going to be into the support as his setup is great.
It is a versatile god. You could see it in the jungle as well, likely.
And if you're an Eager fan, you could possibly even see it in the solo
you
lane.
can see it everywhere. If you're an Eager fan, they run every god everywhere. But a lot of globals coming out. We see Apollo locked in, and Neath Giannis is going to provide a lot of gank potential for Trig Esports early. They're going to be able to get across the map, and they already have this really aggressive support in Hercules. Also add in the Neath ult. It's going to be hard for anyone to deal with it.
They have a very strong duo lane here. assuming the Neath does go into the duo lane. Neath's wave clear is amazing. She's so strong early on, and it's just guaranteed damage, especially with her ultimate. So locking that down, it should also give Hercules easy pulls.
Yep, we see Al Quan taking out from upcoming stars, likely to see some more warriors and tanky gods coming out after that. That's typically what you want to do. If you're banning out Al Quan, you're trying to play the heavy artillery. You're trying to play the tanks that are just going to be your front line. You don't want them to get countered out.
So now Trig Esports, they're looking for a jungler as well as a solo laner. Who is Xaylia going to bring into this matchup? Now, it is a safe game. We could see the Bakasura. That's his premier god.
We really haven't seen him play it, even when it's open recently. Yeah. He was so dominant with it in Season 1, and it seemed early on in Season 2, but he hasn't really brought it out too much.
Do you remember that 2v1 when he had just finished like Oboe?
Oh, I don't even.
He just ate through him, but he's actually going to be bringing in the tier. The Hunbats will be going to Cubo Fred. Hunbats, very high priority in North America, and we'll see what Cubo Fred can do with him. But the final pick here from Upcoming Stars, they have the counterplay option. Who do you pick going into a tier?
You could also put Ymir solo here and look to run someone else in the jungle. There's a possibility. No, it's going to be Rom. So it's Apollo solo is what it's likely to be. Apollo is... So here's the thing, right? Their dual lane is going to get pushed no matter what. Apollo, his mez is actually incredibly strong against Fearless. He can mez it out, basically negating a lot of Tier's damage in lane, but it's still going to be rough for him if he goes solo.
It seems to be the common meta shift right now is dual hunters,
yes.
Right? In every team comp, everyone is going to be running into it. Is Hide of the Nemean Lion actually worth buying?
100%.
Can Tyr just get that and it be fine?
Yeah, I mean, he'll need a little bit more. He'll likely go a Rune Forged as well, but
yeah.
Nemean Lion does so good against hunters. You know, it reflects their auto attack damage, a percentage of it back to them, and it's incredibly useful. And I think we're going to, because the meta is switching more towards these hunters, we're going to see this item become picked up a lot more often, as it was in Season 1 when there wasn't as many tanky physical protect items.
And you could also play mages in the solo lane back then, until Devios and Cloud9 decided to break the game and figure out double hand was the way to go.
Well, TSM.
Oh, TSM, sorry.
It's TSM. That's who he played.
I just meant Devios specifically,
okay.
And then Cloud9, the combination of the two.
Else. It could have been someone else. Invade coming out from Trig here. They do have the early game. Hercules, if he can find a pluck, if he can find a pull, or he can find a stun, I mean, you're just dead.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing you can do. And so the deep wards have come down. Trig Esports, they scurried the land. They were not able to find anything, but Sausage on Apollo going up against Xaylia on Tyr. This is the matchup we're going to queue in on. Xaylia, he's going to have the sustain, but he's naturally going to get poked out of this.
It's not as easy as you think it is. Sausage on Apollo isn't going to have the clear because Apollo's clear was nerfed heading into Season 2. It's very hard for him to clear the wave.
He will have the blue buff, though.
He will have
on top of Bluestone Pendant. He went Death Soul.
Yeah. But his wave clear, his 1, it's not as strong anymore. That's so beautiful. He's going to have to rely on auto attacks. Meanwhile, Tyr is going to be able to clear that wave starting at level 3, and it's going to be hard for him. It's going to be rough.
Cheerio and Sausage here going to go ahead and clear this one out. Blue buff will be next. Apollo will definitely appreciate that, and since he is getting the blue buff, that's why we're going to be able to see the Death Toll start over the Bluestone Pendant.
Yes, and I actually really do like this start. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to get Heartseeker online. Because he got buff, his base physical power increasing, his scaling and his base so much higher. He's going to start chunking players once he gets that Heartseeker online. And just look, like Xaylia actually already took a decent amount of poke there.
Yeah. I mean, he also gets guaranteed hits because of Ymir, right? The Frost Breath is so good, especially in the early stages of the game, and Ymir's going to be a little bit behind here on this rotation, as Cubo Fred will already be able to tag this wave and be rewarded with this experience in the mid lane. And now they have options. They can go ahead and push up and go into Upcoming Stars back jungle, or we might see him go to their back heart.
They don't. They were actually delayed because of the raw heal. They couldn't clear that fast enough, and that delay may be just enough. And you see Xaylia there, or excuse me, Trixtank there rotating in to get his own back harpies. He was really doing it. Okay, no, they did a double invade. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the early pressure that they're doing. I was thinking they were defending for some reason. No, but it will be a counter steal by Cheerio in the bottom. He only gets the big camp, though, and he already has to rotate back to middle.
Yeah, he didn't have Hand of the Gods up. It was very, very risky, but he gets the call out that, oh, both my back camps are taken? All right, well, I got to do something to make up for some of the experience. So he just tried to do everything he could. And as we swing into the duo lane side of things here, Trix tank on the Hercules, as we talked about earlier, very, very lethal on this god. But, I mean, Funballer, he doesn't have to worry about anything. So Neath is so safe.
That was way more important than players may have realized. Trix tank and Funballer were able to steal away that back camp and not miss a single minion in experience, which means Trix tank is likely to hit 5 before mid camps. Typically, supports aren't there unless they can find an early kill. It may be a surprise to them. They may be able to get first blood, but already Funballer.
Geb Shield will keep Cheerio alive here. They're fighting inside the minions as Funballer will now continue to just shove this, but you notice that they weren't attacking the minions at all. They were just zoning out. They have the experience. There's no reason for them to do anything besides hold on to it. Yeah, just freeze the wave and pray to God they come and fight.
I mean, Hercules and Neath have so much push potential against Rom and Geb, who have virtually no push potential. Rom has to put himself in a bad spot to try and clear here. So Aelia is going to be fine in this lane. He's going to be maxing his heal, so the poke that Sausage pushed out isn't too much. And take a look at this. Trix is level 5. That's going to be huge. If Stars don't recognize this, they could put themselves in a bad spot trying to defend mid camps.
Kivo Fred now, he's also level 5. He has his ultimate readily available, and Upcoming Stars is in no position. Fear No Evil comboed as well. Frosty is just going to get erased instantly. Mid Harpies will be going to Trig Esports with no problem at all.
Yeah, he wasn't paying attention there. You saw Trix tank. He was just staring at him for a good 10 seconds. Frosty just was looking to the left because he was worried about the Hun bots coming around the corner and jumping on him. He didn't even think Trix would try and gank him. He figured Trix was just going to safely take the mid camps, and Trix surprised him there. We always see Trix look to be aggressive on these mid laners. It's something you need to pay attention for.
What's going to be really hard for Upcoming Stars is this next set of mid Harpies. You can't lose 2 sets of mid Harpies back to back at a professional level.
I mean, it's not too bad if you have a late game team comp like they do. They have 2 hunters, so the later this game goes, the better they look, but it's going to be hard for them to hold on, especially now that their mid has fallen early. He's not going to be able to play aggressive with his Ymir like you typically like to see.
Yep. Ymir behind is not fun. It's like Hercules behind. It's just awful. It's so hard to play.
Really is. Any support that has no movement abilities, once they get behind, the other team is typically going to look to abuse them. Now, Cheerio's not too far behind, right? He's pretty even. Yeah. But if he does get behind, I mean, he's not going to be able to escape Kivo Fred.
No, not at all. Now, Lobster, he's the only magical damage here. Are we going to see the utility come out of him with the max CDR? Or will it be his responsibility to get the Shoes of Magi and then into full damage?
More commonly, we're seeing the damage boots come out, the Shoes of the Magi, instead of the cooldown boots on these Giannis's, but Lobster and Trig have run these single magical comps quite often, and they always seem to go utility with it. Even when they run it with Raw as well, right? They get the Lotus Crown. They're not too worried about the magical damage. They normally think that their physical will carry them through it.
Kivo Fred's going to get caught. Jump out of here. You can see the idea right in front of Trig Esports. They want to just steal away the blue buff as well as the speed buff. Cheerio was able to get the speed buff, but blue is still there.
So the best counter to 4 physical gods is a warrior. It's a bruiser. And you notice Upcoming Stars don't have a bruiser, so there's no god that's going to ideally be able to counter that. If they had been running the tier themselves or the Hercules, then they would have been able to fight. Or counter build appropriately against the 4 physical team.
Zelia now still just in lane. I mean, there's really no kill potential at all. The one advantage that Sausage will have is in the next 5 minutes, we'll most likely see at least 1 Gold Fury attempt, and Sausage will be able to come crashing down on his chariot and making it to that team fight instantly, whereas Zelia will not have that luxury. So then Zelia has to be in this position where he goes, okay, do I go all the way over there, or do I just push this tower?
He'll likely pick up Teleport. I think there's a good chance that he'll pick up Teleport there to counter the Apollo Global, and that's something I didn't talk about or mention earlier, is that Sausage does have that Global. That's going to be huge in team fights. It's going to force Zelia into that Teleport, or if he doesn't go Teleport, like you said, he's going to be an extra man in the team fights, and that's what Upcoming Stars is looking for. They're going to look to take those 45 team fights the entire time, and now we're starting to see Sausage build into Asi. Once he gets that healing online, then Zelia pretty much loses all kill potential.
And now Lobster, he spotted out Frosty, trying to poke him. Threshold did not hit, slowing Raw, but mid Harpies, they're just gonna go cleanly to Trig Esports right side as well. Upcoming Stars is a little bit behind on the experience board here, but they really couldn't take that fight to him anyways.
No one was in position. Unfortunately, Cherio, he had to back, so he couldn't keep up the fight and look to be aggressive. Frosty's already behind. Raw is very hard or incredibly easy to lock down for Trig Esports. All it takes is any stun, right, to bait out his beads. And once those are down, he doesn't have any movement abilities to get away.
If only his passive still gave him, like, increased by 7% like it was back in Season 1.
Still gives a good amount.
Yeah, it's still great, but before it was, like, Raw and ice skates.
Oh, it was annoying.
It was so fun. So good. 7 minutes on the board here. 1-0 is Trig Esports in favor in this matchup, as we will see Iren start to poke out Funballer. Iren's, we've seen glimpses of him, man. He wants to be this big player, but just haven't seen him turn up.
Yeah, he can go in, and he's always battling the other ADC. He's not a player who's afraid, who's going to play passive. We do see a lot of hunters enter the SPL or the higher levels of competitive play and play pretty passive, don't look to challenge other players. He's not one of them, and we're going to see Cheerio. He's going to blink in, miss that freeze. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking to see. I mean, that's really what your mere strength is, right? Is blink in, do it. Qin's actually going to be able to get a kill on Funballer in the left lane, which will tie things up on the kill board, and they're going to start nipping away. But Azalea juggling Sausage, so beautiful. And he's got the dash, and Lawbringer will come out. The Chariot, will it be enough? Oh. And he's able to get off. That's
doesn't have
huge.
The attack speed, yep. And he's likely to lose that kill potential once this Aussie comes online. But you saw Tyr, so much base damage, able to really abuse Sausage out of that lane there.
In comes the Hunbats. Overhand smash will hit, as well as Fear No Evil. Neath ultimate chained as well, coming in hot. It will connect with the Gab. In comes the Giannis portal as well. They want to take down Iren's. Overhand smash will secure that one. Is now Gab trying to roll out. He is just going to die, though. Unstable Vortex will clean that one up. They actually got the Raw Snipe out of there as well, so this is a great team fight for Trig Esports.
Yeah, and with all those ultimates forced out, they're likely to go Gold Fury, especially with Raw ult down. They don't have to worry about grouping up and getting hit by that huge magical damaging ability, and there you see Funballer trying to pull it, but Trixtank is looking to be aggressive first.
He's going to get stunned out. Boulder's going to hit as well, and Cheerio is just going to fall to the hands of Trixtank, as now Frosty's forced to stay at his tier 1. And now we will see the first Gold Fury attempt here, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. This will be such a humongous lead for Trig Esports if they secure this, which, all things considered, they would have to try to screw this one up.
Yeah, now you can see Raw, he knows he can't contest it. If he walks forward, Trixtank has to hit one pull, and he's going to fall. But that will be first Gold Fury in Trig Esports' favor. This game is starting off much how we expected it to. They're sitting at about a 3K gold lead here.
So here's my question for you, Mr. Analyst Adonis.
Okay.
Going into this one, you said, Trig, they're on this downward slope. Let's see how they're going to do. Is this what you were expecting out of them?
I mean, this isn't like a dominant performance, but this is standard. It's really how they use the lead they just got moving forward. All European games are slow. Even when it's a very one-sided matchup, Europe likes to play incredibly safe and look to outplay their opponents in team fights and late game situations. And now that Trig has this lead, though, I think they're likely to keep aggressing. And look at Zale, right? He's already 2 levels ahead of Sausage. Sausage needed to get online early, and he hasn't been able to.
Well, he also has the global experience coming in from the Gold Fury as well, which definitely adds to that. But that, again, just helps out the team as well, as we will see Lobster just go ahead, clear the lane, Trixtank rotates out, and the Lawbringer, he's going to get power boots next. Now, will we see a full-blown tank out of him, or do you think he'll go into the Jotuns?
He'll be a hybrid. It's probably going to be Jotuns first. That's almost always. You don't need to build that tanky early on. You have the sustain in your kit with your heal, and you don't have to get that tanky early. He will likely pick up a Nemean Lion sometime in this matchup, though.
All right. So, the Hunbats. He finishes up shoes. Normally, we see Jotuns almost 100% of the time. This guy's going right into Transcendence. He's just looking for a little bit more power and try to just continue the pressure.
Yes, he just wants to do that instant burst damage. He's not worried about his cooldowns. He wants to kill someone in one go. The cooldown is useful for getting Fear No Evils up more often than not. He won't have penetration, but this is going to take a little bit to get online. He has to finish Transcendence and then stack it up to 50. Late game, Transcendence is almost worth it just buying it out, but he doesn't have the mana pool to convert into physical power yet.
Well, the best thing about it is that the stacks don't disappear. Cheerio's going to get pulled, comboed up as well. In comes Neath ultimate, Cheerio triggering it. He's got a lot off. He's got the Geb shield helping him out. He falls through the portal. Unstable Vortex cleans him up. QN now trying to run away, as now the pull is going to be just right off the mark. Unstable Vortex comes out again. The strength of utility Giannis is there. You just get so much more off in these team fights.
Yeah, and Giannis has such incredible high base numbers that he can warrant building cooldowns where other mages can't. In addition, he has the crazy utility.
Yep.
He doesn't need a ton of magical power to start really out-damaging opponents.
Man, that would have been beautiful. Stone Shield will protect Frosty, giving him a little bit of extra help there, but all things considered, Driving Strike was off, as now Funballer trying to force the issue on Irons, who's just under his tower. He's down a level, and this is what you like to see out of Neath. Every Neath just shoves the wave all the way up, and it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, and especially for a ROM. So, most hunters, they walk up to the lane, they use their line ability, then they walk to the side so they don't take poke. Rom, what he does is he enhances his auto attacks, and it's not just a one thing clear. He gets up to 5 with his astral arrows, and it's much harder to clear the wave without taking free poke. And Funballer has been doing a fantastic job of poking Irons when he goes to clear that wave.
Well, this isn't about poke here. This is about full-blown damage as Sausage, the ultimate, gets baited out again from him. And they know it's on cooldown. He's going to come crashing back down on the tower. He's got support from his team. There's space and time just off the mark there, and they do not want to fight this.
Yeah, the power of that Giannis ult. They were just scared. They knew Giannis was going to be there, and they had to worry about Trix tank as well. They maybe have not known that Trix was so low, but they knew that the team could be there in that fight instantly if they kept up the aggression.
Yeah. As we take a look at the charts here, the experience difference is just 7,000, man. This one's... It's really starting to get ugly for Upcoming Stars. They need to, start just trying to claw away at this with the mid-Harpies, but really it's got to be about this next Gold Fury in 55 seconds.
And I'm likely to see Trig Esports look for a pick early on. That's what you want to do. You don't want to just take a 5-on-5 Gold Fury, especially if you're ahead. You want to look for someone out of position and look to kill them, specifically the support.
Geb knockup will help, as the raw heal will drop down on the team fight. Trix tank trying to get that pick, as Adonis has mentioned, but wasn't able to do so here. And now you're expecting a little bit of tomfoolery here. You know, just try to mess with the vision and then try to creep up here, which is exactly what Trix tank is going to be doing. He's just looking purely for a kill.
They don't want to take a straight 5-on-5 team fight. And actually, that's the dash by Q, and he may get turned on here. No rollout. It's going to be long enough. That'll last for so long.
Yeah. Cheerio now backs himself into a corner here. Fear No Evil coming down. They want Cheerio dead. Boulder comes through. Cataclysms on the backside. Preemptive beads coming out from Lobster. Through space and time will save his life, as Frosty just off the mark. And Irons takes to the sky and he has no vision.
They're just out of range there. And actually, I'm going to give that fight to Cubo messing up. He misplaced his ultimate. He actually pushed Ymir towards his own base as Sausage is getting poked out.
Wow, it's not even poked out, man. He's just getting bodied. And Zelia, he's got a switch stance here. Oh, nope, Lawbringer. Bring it down, baby. Clears it up. The best part about this matchup so far for Zelia is that they forced out across the skies from Apollo so many times.
Like 3 times now.
That they don't have to worry about his rotation on these team fights. If there is one, right? He's just getting it free. He hasn't even had to buy in a teleport yet.
Nope. And that's the thing. He hasn't bought the teleport yet because he is forcing out that across the skies. He can elect to choose something else, like a Blink, which is very good on tier if, he doesn't have to buy the teleport.
Well, the saving grace so far for Upcoming Stars is actually the fact that Geb was able to get their only kill, keeping him in the race here with the across-the-way support of Trix tank on the Hercules. Supports, if they get far behind, it is likely that they just won't come back ever. Gold's just so hard to come by for them.
Yes, and Trig Esports is very good at abusing Elite. As you can see how aggressive they've been. They've just... Oh, there we go.
Well, through space and time's going to hit. Frosty forced all the way out. Boulder's going to be off the mark. They're now going to dump everything into Cheerio that they can, as Neath Arrow will come down as well. Geb's shield will be on him, and he's just going to fall straight down. Down he goes. Fear No Evil combos up. They're able to get another one. And now Irons dashes backward, but now it's just about Apollo. He dashes down. He's going to get juggled. Beads hits as well, and he's just getting bullied by Trig Esports as they will continue to just assault. But they got to be careful. They don't want to give Irons a kill here, as they are relatively low.
It didn't work last time, so Trig went right again about 90 seconds later once their ultimates are up, and you can see Zelia sitting there trying to dive under tower.
Oh, if there's one thing Tyr does amazingly, it's just devouring mages. And now, look at this. Iron's forced to take to the sky. Can he find one? They're all strafing underneath him, making it very hard, and he's just going to get obliterated. 12-2, 16 minutes and 15 seconds on the game. 12,000 experience lead, 6,500 gold lead. My God.
This is the power of Trix on Hercules. You cannot stop him. This double warrior front line. Even Xaylia rotated for that fight. It didn't work out the last time they invaded, so they brought over Xaylia, right? Sausage forced to ult over, picks up a kill, but can't do anything after that. And that extra man early in the fight really helped them to pick up Qin.
What does Upcoming Stars do at this point? I mean, they have to try to prevent fights, but it's so difficult. Even if you ward defensively, Trig Esports is still going to just push the issue. Do you just give up on the team fights completely?
No, the problem is that Upcoming Stars isn't there for the team fights when they need to be. You saw the Ymir just die before Qin could even get there. Qin's there, shields him, but then by that time, Cheerio was dead. Afterwards, then Qin died because no one else was there to help them. They're not there as a team to defend the invades together. They're going in one at a time and getting picked for it.
Cubo Fred as Trix Tank will be pushing up here. They spot Qin, but it's all about vision control right now as the Fnatic ward will come down for Trig. And now it's Irons here. He's going to get driving strike into the wall. Bede's already forced out. Overhand smash off the mark as well as Unstable Vortex. But he is going to fall to the hands of Trix Tank here. As, you know, Trix is just a beast. And Sausage across the skies. It's time for him to turn up, Adonis.
He needs to look for a good fight here, a knockup, but Frosty's just getting juggled. He's too far into the team fight. He's going to fall as well.
Man, through space and time is going to just do a little bit extra damage. Xaylia picking up another one. Trig Esports, oh my God, they're going behind him. It's a full flank, and now Upcoming Stars are just cornered. Lawbringer comes out, and now Sausage trying to run away. He goes straight into a portal. The juggle's going to be off the mark, but Sausage will fall as well. And that is a deicide at 18 minutes and 12 seconds.
That is how you use Giannis. That is how you utilize that utility. The whole team just going to the back of the team fight, cutting off Upcoming Stars' escapes. They're able to find 2 more kills into the back of that, a deicide, and a tier 2 tower.
If this was a best of 5, I would tell Upcoming Stars to just surrender at this point. Save the morale and just come back at game number 2. But it's a 2-game set. They really can't afford it. They have to fight through this. The last thing you want to be is guaranteed 0-3.
Upcoming Stars has been in this situation a lot. I think if there's a team that can handle this pressure, it's them. They're going to fight it out through, and I think they do all the time. Enemy Esports on North America, you see them surrender a lot early. We saw it in the first split. We saw it in the qualifiers. But
which some might argue that surrender that they had actually saved them.
It could be. It could save a lot of morale. But Upcoming Stars, I think they're a team that wants to prove they're the best, and they're going to take their losses in stride. Now, this isn't a loss yet, but it's likely to be. It's 17-2 in kills. It's a 10k gold lead. What they need is to try and farm. If they can somehow... It's up to Trig to mess up.
Yeah.
They need Trig to mess up, and they need to perfectly capitalize off it.
The best case scenario for Upcoming Stars is that Trig just decides to stop being aggressive. Right? They kind of wait for objectives, and then they just try to take them, or just siege like one tower, go back and buy because they have gold. And that'll help Upcoming Stars, believe it or not. Just because, you know, as we said, they just need a farm, but I don't know if that's the case.
No, they have Trix Tank. Trix Tank is one of the most hyper-aggressive players in Smite, and you just see him, right? He's putting these counter wards so deep into Star's jungle, and now he's 1v4.
Yeah. Well, he's got a portal for him. Oh, thank you, Lobster. Thank you so much for that.
That's honest utility.
Yep. The boulder's going to come over, barely missing the steal. As now overhand smash will get smezzed out there by Sausage, and they're going to try to chase him down, but Trix Tank is here for the support. He's going to get the knock up, driving strike backwards. He doesn't have the follow-up, but I mean, he's forced out at least the stone shield for the time being, so they know that's on cooldown. Juggle's going to come. It's going to be on Cheerio. Blink Cataclysm coming in. He falls through the portal throw. Lawbringer comes down. Qin now still under the tower, driving strike back. And just like that, Xaylia gets himself another kill. Sausage misses the knock-up. Actually, it doesn't provide a knock-up anymore. He misses the crash down. Tough break.
Yep. But, I mean, I think it would have been bad if he actually landed on there because it was likely that Trig Esports would have turned on him. Yeah. Trix Tank, though, you cannot give this kid Hercules. I mean,
he's 3-0-14.
He does not miss those pulls. He does not miss the Earthbreakers, and constantly, we've just seen pick after pick on him. He's hitting them on everyone, and there's the Honest Ult looking for kills in the left lane.
And it's going to be set up here by the Neath Arrow. Frosty, He's going to get stuck, and now they're going to push through. It's just going to go straight to the Gold Fury as Lobster. Well, he wants... Oh, my God! Bruh.
Did you see that?
Bruh.
All right, I want you to highlight Threshold because this is something that... Oh, we'll do that afterwards as Trixtank.
He's not going to die.
1v3.
I mean, he just popped mitigate wounds. He's completely fine. As he will now push up a little bit. Go to Threshold.
Extra damage.
I know.
People do not understand that Threshold actually gives bonus damage on your abilities there, and that's what we saw is he landed on the Threshold and then took the Unstable Vortex right afterwards.
Oh, Trixtank gets hit with the denied wall right in the face. Azalea now. He gets hit by the cripple. He's still going to push up. That was sprint activated by Irons, and they can't chase anymore. They got their pick. They got to be happy with that. But the last thing they want to do is go through a narrow pathway, so Unstable Vortex hits everyone.
Additionally, it's a tier. You'd be grouping up for a multi-man Fearless. It's a fight Upcoming Stars couldn't take there. It seems to be that Trick Esports is looking for the mobility. We see 3 Winged Blades picked up for them. 1 on Hoombots, 1 on Zalia, and first item was actually picked up from Trixtank. So they're really valuing the mobility they have. They also have Lobster, right? So they have those crazy portals coming off cooldown every 4 seconds.
And also, screw Roslows. His blind is just so infuriating to go against. As well as Frost Carpet. Screw that ability too. Just so many slows.
It allows them to keep up the chase, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Upcoming Stars might be able to get away from some of these fights because there are movements or their slows in their kits. Now Trig can chase even harder than they were before.
Lobster and Zalia. They know the speed buff's getting ready to come back up.
They're looking for more
and
picks.
you can see Upcoming Stars is catering to this as well. And they see Zalia. They throw up the wall. They say, all right, look. We really don't want to fight. We don't want it. You can just take it.
Look at these defensive wards. I mean, 20 minutes in, they're warding up all the entry points that Trig Esports can take. And this is what they need. They're down a Fire Giant. And you see 15 wards placed coming out from Q and 12 coming out from Cherio. They're investing so much gold into wards that it's hurting them even more.
Did you see the presence that Trixtank just had? He doesn't even have Fire Giant buff on him. And he just popped mitigate wounds, walked straight up, no minions, and he backed the entire team of Upcoming Stars up.
He might have been a little too aggressive here. 4-man gank on him.
Driving Strike will save his life, though, as he goes to the Tier 2 tower. Qing now. He's got the Stone Shield on himself. Down he goes. Opposite side, though. Trixtank going to try to push forward. Neathero is going to connect with Cheerio. Driving Strike didn't happen as it just hits Cheerio right in the face. He's going to get stunned out there. They're going to try to follow it up, but, I mean, this is a Hercules.
They're investing so much into this Hercules, and this is exactly what Trixtank wants. Upcoming Stars are focusing him out, and the rest of the team is just running amok. They're getting Phoenixes. They're finding picks on the squishies in the back. You saw Qin. He was just caught out alone and fell to the rest of the team. Meanwhile, Trix is over half his life up.
Yep. The juggled Cheerio is going to walk straight into a portal, and then 2 balls hitting him in the face. Not fun.
No, 2 balls in your face are never fun, and Funball are looking for more kills. He's going to find Frosty. He's going to pop Sprint,
nice.
But I think he's got to back out. He's tanking Titan at this point.
I like it. I like the aggression. It's always fun to watch as Across the Skies will delay this fight, but now Qin, he's all by himself. Down he goes. Zalia's on a rampage here, and now likely will be the focus of the next Titan.
I mean, Zalia is 2v1ing in Titan with no team around him. This could be the end for Trick Esports. Trixtank gonna pluck someone out of the fountain. Sausage, 1 more hit. Funballer picks up the kill.
And they're still yet, I mean, the Titans 66%, and Trixtank is gonna back now.
I think they've been focusing on players too long that they're not really gonna be able to kill this Titan, and you see them, they're a little bit too low. Upcoming Stars are starting to spawn. They're gonna have to back up, giving Upcoming Stars maybe a small breath of life.
Yeah, which is beneficial for Upcoming Stars, right? Any kills they get at this point is just gonna help with their, maybe give them a little bit of momentum going into game number 2, which is always a plus, right?
They're going to turn on Zalia here, but that Winged Blade is going to be active. Going to immune the slow and be a little bit too fast for Upcoming Stars to chase. And that's the power of Winged Blade. It's so much harder to shut down players that are just faster than you and can immune your slows.
How dare he not use Sock Puppeteer? It's the best skin.
Okay, you have to refer people.
Yeah. Again.
I don't have anyone referred on my account.
You should. Use your Twitter followers, bro.
It's true.
Fear no evil. Beads. No problem. Irons is going to be taken down here. 25 minutes, going on 26. There's 29 kills on the board, 26 of them from Trig Esports. This game has been a thrashing up to this point.
Their hunters haven't been able to get online, and this is the composition Upcoming Stars ran. They ran the hunter solo, but he's been of no use. Xaylia has been so much more effective in team fights. Can we take a look at player damage here real quick? I'm assuming he's sitting near the bottom. No, he's actually... Okay, so Sausage has actually been doing a lot of poke in that solo lane, but not able to find any kills.
Yeah.
But the solo kill he found.
I mean, you can just see how active the solo jungle and mid laner are here for Trig Esports. I mean, top 3 in player damage, and that's expected. You expect to see tier at the top just because of the solo lane and trading so much damage, but they've done an amazing job so far.
Titans at 50% health. 2 Phoenixes down. Trig Esports are going to push. They're likely to make this their final push.
They need the dream here. They need Cataclysm into a fully charged Ymir ult, and I just don't know if that's going to happen.
They have to fight him early. They have to fight him at this Phoenix if Upcoming Stars wants any hope.
And now the Phoenix will be taken here. They did not contest it at all. And now they will slowly push up. The wall will delay him just a bit. In comes the Lawbringer. He's going to juggle one. Stone Shield's going to be put down. The Titan's going to be slapping around. In comes the Fear No Evil. Next will likely be the Titan. They're delaying enough here. But the Neith, she's just so strong, and now she's going to be able to just chip away at this as he's just going to turn and be like, oh, it's a free Frost Giant.
All right, boys, in the game. It's low enough. You've got enough kills.
Yeah, they're petting stats. That's all it is. And look at this. What a scumbag, bro.
Oh, man. Fun baller. Come on. All right. Titans going to fall there. I think that game went much like how a lot of people expected it. Community picked.
Would you not say it went great for Trig fans, though?
Yes.
People who were worried about what Trig would come out this week.
Yes, and that's what I said at the beginning is they needed to win 2-0, and they really needed to make a statement in both games. Game 1 was successful. Now it's up to Upcoming Stars to see if they can stop the momentum of Trig Esports and getting back to form.
How do they do that, though? That game, there was no tell of Upcoming Stars even standing a chance.
They ran a late game comp with the duo Hunters, but they weren't able to get to that point, and Sausage really wasn't able to make a big impact. He was able to get a lot of damage out in team fights, it seems, but the rest of his team didn't have any follow-up damage, so they're going to have to find something that I think Sausage can make a bigger impact early instead of having him really stalemate out a lane.
Yep. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the first blood here from the Lobster, the Lobby Lob. The Giannis was brilliant here through space and time.
That play was all Trix Tank. I mean, Giannis got the kill, but that was Trix Tank. Oh, you saw Frosty actually. He was scared of the Hunbats. He saw Hunbats and his left side, right? So you just see Frosty looking to the left in lane. He's like, all right, Hunbats, Cubo, you're not going to get me, bro. You're not going to get me. And then Trix Tank just comes, wraps around, hits the driving strike, and then everyone just turns on him instantly.
So when you run double Hunters here, do you want a Ymir as your jungle? Or do you want someone who's going to help you get out of that early game? Like a Thor?
Ymir kind of does do that. He's a very versatile god in that
early game.
Isn't it
risky, though? Ish,
but I mean, Ymir puts out a lot of pressure early, and that's what the team wanted. They wanted a jungler who could put out a lot of pressure early. He falls off more so or faster than I would say Thor, Thanatos, those other hyper early game junglers that we see come out, but he transitions into a utility god. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to utilize any of his utility.
Yep. Well, guys, time to take a look at the jungle control map here to see what the camps will tell us about the game. And mid Harpies 86% from Trig Esports. Overall, 70% control. Upcoming Stars, they have to change that going into game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the first 2 rotations there. It was Trig Esports cleanly. I mean, no one was in position from Upcoming Stars. Additionally, they weren't. That was 3 Gold Furies, all 3 uncontested. Upcoming Stars weren't even in position. It was Trig Esports forcing fights in their own jungle. Right, and then the first time it didn't work, but then Xaylia rotated for the second time, and it was just 5-on-4. Sausage was a little late to the fight.
Yep. And the biggest Harpies that you can... Normally when we see those stats on mid Harpies, we go and talk about how, at the beginning, they took the first one, but Upcoming Stars didn't take it. They didn't take the first 2 rounds of mid Harpies.
I mean, they weren't even trying to contest them, right?
That's disastrous.
There was picks both times, right? At least the first one was Frosty, right? Their dual lane was pushed. Trix Tanks was able to rotate over. They can't contest lefts. And then Cubo Fred was trying to gank him on the right side, and there was Frosty couldn't get in. It was 4 versus 2.
Yep. Well, guys, it's time to hop into picks and bans for game number 2 here. But first, player of the game. We have not figured that one out yet.
And
there's a bunch of people to pick from.
Oh, yeah, Cubo 10-0-14. He was everywhere. I think they had about 30 kills at the end there, and you can see 10-0 and 14 a part of 24 of those kills. He was everywhere across the map. He was in every fight, forcing the issue with Trix tanks.
And this is what we've seen in North America as well, is that Hunbats is just top priority in the jungle. Or at least he was in the first weekend throughout the relegations. I mean, it's very rare to see him get through. Fear No Evil just sets up so much, and these team comps now, especially with the double Guardians going on, there's so many instances where your beads are down in these engagements, and that's when Hunbat shines.
100% when he shines, and you saw Cubo Fred make good use of it there after Trix tank was really the main person trying to bait out the beads.
Yep. All right. Well, now it is time for game number 2. Can upcoming stars come back? Is the question here. They don't want to find themselves 0-4.
No,
That's the worst. I think just one win for them would do wonders.
it would do amazing, but to be fair, they have probably the hardest first 2 games of any team. So if you're going to take your losses, it's going to be here. First, they were up against Epsilon. Now they're up against Trig, 2 top teams in Europe. So to be fair, they have a rough start to the summer split.